Hello, this is Tony Rasmussen back for episode 24, Go Mario and Luigi 2, the Nintendo Tribute. This episode first aired February 21st, 2014. And if I do believe so on YouTube, it would have been in October as well. It would have probably, I believe this was the Halloween then episode for YouTube. The idea for this episode interestingly came out of kind of a backlash that I've heard over the last 3 years now. I'll say 3, probably 4. That was over when Nintendo was having issues selling the Wii U, which now they're kind of finding easy because they have Smash Bros. Out, Mario Kart, and they're doing gangbusters. But when I wrote the episode, this was at the time people were still smashing on the Wii U. Like, the only good thing that came out of it at that point was Mario 3D World. And it just baffles me how, the gaming culture has changed insignificantly from, I would say, the 80s to this current point. I would even say the 70s, but no, so that was that. And then when this episode aired, it was around the time it was revealed Nintendo was having financial issues, there were going to be layoffs, everyone was taking a pay cut, and it just surprised me. So, the footage, by the way, here, is actually from a Game Boy port of Super Mario Brothers. And this is, you gotta remember, this is a point which I don't have a capture. I still don't, by the way. And so, we were actually using emulation, and we were filming these. We had to use guerrilla tactics on filming this. And the way we would film it is we would reverse the camera, and we'd film through Movie Maker. There's also an issue here. You could tell, like, sometimes the music will double. And that was because I thought I muted certain parts of the video, and I guess I didn't. But back on my story here about Nintendo. It's just surprising, saying again, the culture and how it's changed in the last 40, 50 years, even now. I would say, like, everyone has definitely gone PC, and I think that's, in the last 10 years. So that's kind of, I don't think it's kind of sad, I think it's just kind of redundant. And I'm not saying this is a Nintendo fanboy, I'm saying this is just a gamer, to say that, we went from, consoles like, Wii, Xbox 360, and PS3, and now people are saying, oh, PS4, Xbox One, those are going to be the two big ones, and then you got your gaming PCs all there. And then, they say, oh yeah, then there's something like the Wii U. The funny thing is, after this episode aired, months after this aired, I ended up getting a Wii U. And I can say clearly, I love it. I really love it. I really appreciate the Wii U. I find it awesome. I think it is really underrated. Yeah, it has its faults, but it's really underrated. So, the real question now is, why after, through all the humiliation and the ridiculousness from all my friends, have I still stuck with Nintendo after they've all tried to convince me to switch over to Sony or Microsoft? The reason is, Nintendo to me was always, I'm trying to find the right words without offending someone. I would say Nintendo was that console that you have really fond memories of growing up, and you distinctly remember as you get old. Some of my earliest memories, living at my grandmother's back when I was a kid, was playing the N64. My uncle's N64. And we would play Majora's Mask, Mario 64, F-Zero. Those were all great games. When I got a PlayStation, I played it, yes. I didn't play as much of it, though, as I did an N64. And I think the true reason is that Nintendo overall has some really unique games, and I don't think anyone realizes that. for as much as people, you know, bash Nintendo for, you know, reusing the same properties they have, like Mario or Zelda or Metroid, you gotta realize that they're still trying to appeal to an audience. It may not be your audience, but it may be a younger one that's just getting into these games. And that's what Nintendo always tries to do, is tries to bring newcomers into the gaming world. I would say thanks to the Wii, we have more elderly gamers and girl gamers than we had, you know, back when it was GameCube, and even back when it was N64. Even SNES and NES, there was never that many girl gamers. That just surprises me in such a way. And people often state, you know, and I'm doing this, by the way, around the time of Gamergate, so this is all breaking down and we talk about feminism in games. The surprising thing is how people, I'm trying to find the right words without offending someone, by the way. I can't find the right ones. How people often, God, I'm trying to think of the right words, I can't. How they come to the conclusion that they don't really accept, you know, a new breed into the gaming community. And I'm not saying females are breeds, by the way. I'm just, you know, like that whole idea of a new type of gamer. You know, we've had hardcore and we've had casual, but, you know, I swear this is a period where we're getting into the female gamers and the elderly gamers, and I don't think anyone's just getting used to it. I certainly have, I'll say, because, you know, both those types of gaming, you know, you have to appeal to everyone, I would say, in order to appreciate entertainment. Movies, they do this perfectly. They can entertain anyone. Television can do the same thing. They can entertain anyone. Games is kind of difficult, though, because, you know, and this leads into kind of a big gripe I have, and this is why I always stick retro, and especially stick with Nintendo. You know, it's the FPSs, the first-person shooters, that really baffle me on why they keep making these, when all they could really do is just say, hey, here's a new DLC. It's technically a new game. We could release it on a disc, but we're just going to give it to you anyway. I've played Xbox before. I sucked at it. PlayStation, I've played for years. I don't mind it. I think it's just I have not seen a good PlayStation game since PlayStation 2, with Grand Theft Auto and all that. Nintendo, even for all the blunders they have, there's still something fun within that. Within all the blunders, there's still something fun. You know, even the worst of like a Mario game, let's say like Mario Sunshine is considered one of the worst, you know, in the Mario franchise. It's still a good game. You can still find something fun in it. And, you know, I love Nintendo because, yeah, they use the same properties, but they're not afraid to challenge those properties. They're not afraid to take it somewhere else. And it just surprises me when you end up, you know, hearing people go, oh, Nintendo just uses the same thing over and over. They do the same thing over and over. They don't. They try to put a new spin on something old. And you also got to remember, Nintendo's a toy company. It's not a gaming company or a software developer. Now, many people have also said that Nintendo should probably get out of the hardware business for a while and move on to software. That's fine and good, but you kind of lose something when you see Mario on an Xbox or Mario on PlayStation. There's something you lose to it. And I think it's the unique charm that, yeah, this is a special property for Nintendo. So, and I'm not saying Nintendo shouldn't do it. They should, but just don't use their original properties. They could try to do both. They could try to make software and hardware. Sega really got the raw end of the stick. You know, for as much as, you know, you could say the CD and the Saturn failed, they failed for certain reasons. They failed because Sega didn't notice that, you know, they were releasing these back-to-back. When the Dreamcast came out, people were just like, the first time Sega's had a good game console in years. and everyone just immediately shit-canned it and threw it off to the side. And now they look back at it and say, man, was that underrated. And I think that's what's going to happen the same way with the Wii U, is people are going to shit-can it for now. But when the time comes, they're going to be like, man, was that unique. It is. It's a unique console. I don't think I've ever seen one that's done it that way, that's ever done gaming that way. And, you know, my feelings on Gamergate, I think, you know, journalism is kind of, you know, skewed a little bit. The gaming journalism, it has been skewed a little bit. Has it been fully skewed? I don't think so, but it has been kind of. Nintendo has announced now a new console, but it won't come out for about another year or two. And if that's the case, I'll take it. Best guess. I mean, it just, I can't find any other words to say. I'm sorry, I was texting, but this ending here, I kind of messed up the wording a little bit, and this often happens in that. Like, I'll end up having a day where I'll screw up on certain words, and I swear I'm not dyslexic. I think it's just I speak, I think it, and then I speak it. It kind of tries to sync, and it doesn't really. So it should have been, instead of here's the good old television, it should have been I guess it's back to my old classic thing. I guess it's back to my old favorite, television. Something along the lines of that, but it's just, guys, you need to stop hating on Nintendo. Tony Rasmussen, yo, out.